Hey YouTube, this is Jericho Walters. I was not going to review this movie that I'm about to talk about, but I have this uncle, okay, and he's black. He married into the family. And he also reviews movies. Says it's his job or something that he gets paid to do. And he didn't want me to use his name. He made that very clear. He said, "Do not use my fucking name." He said those exact words. Shit, man. My pants were unzipped. But yeah, he wanted me to go to this movie with him. This new movie. I didn't even heard about it because, I don't know, I'm trying to go see The Crow. And he's just like, "Yo, we gotta go see this movie. Come with me. Your aunt can't take me." So, he and I have a pretty weird, tense love-hate relationship. He teases me a lot because I'm still taking my time getting my GED, and he went to college, and I tease him back because he's in a wheelchair. So it's just kind of a give and take, a back and forth, and we went and saw this movie, and it's just this guy sitting in rooms asking questions about, like, how do I be nice to black people? And I was like, I don't care about this. This seems very dumb that you would make a movie about this when we have Google. But apparently after the movie, he's like, "Oh, this is, like, not a real movie." I was like, "What? What are you talking about? I thought it was a documentary." So it's a mockumentary. Never heard of this. He says that wasn't a real guy. He was putting on a persona, and he was tricking those people into responding that way. And I was like, I thought it was just a funny movie about a guy just in awkward situations like Borat. Tells me this. Did you guys know Borat's not real? Did you guys know that? Check this out. Borat. Fucking Borat. This guy is actually this guy. Okay? That's nuts. And then this guy is actually this guy. Alright? It's this guy named Matt Walsh. And I've never heard of this man. And my uncle keeps saying, "What did you think about the movie? What did you think?" And I was like, "It was boring. Okay, there's no car chases, no explosions, no guns, no boobs." What? People were laughing in the theater. I was like, what are we doing here? Then he tells me I need to review this movie. And I say, "No way, man. This is the most boring shit I've ever seen." And he says something about how I have a duty to inform my viewers about what's going on in this country. And I laughed at him because he said duty. And he gave me some more tough love. And he said, "How can you be this fucking ignorant?" And basically, he's going to pay me $50 if I read this thing he wrote. Okay? Apparently, he's too high and mighty, being a real movie critic, to come on this YouTube channel, even though I could use the views. But all I gotta do is read this. What the fuck? Unc, what the fuck, dude? I can't read all this shit. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, this guy writes like essays about movies. Who does that? What the fuck? Alright, folks, if you don't, I'm going to do this because I'm a capitalist and I believe in making money where you can make it, and I want this $50. So if you want my honest review, the movie sucks, whatever. To anyone watching this video, I'm sorry you have to suffer the existence of my failure of a nephew, Jericho. Off to a great start. He's a degenerate, a drunkard, and a certifiable moron. This is just more of that tough love I was telling you about. I'm a film critic for a reputable news source, and I was recently tasked with reviewing the new film by Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire, Am I Racist? Yeah, that's what it's called. Since I am paraplegic, I generally travel to the movie theater with my wife, but because she was temporarily unavailable, and because I'm a man of color going to view a movie concerning race, I decided to bring my mentally challenged nephew with me for that's a little harsh. With me for solidarity in hopes that he might learn something. Sadly, he did not. I kind of want to skim read this, but yeah. The film Am I Racist is an incredible double-edged sword. Let me be clear, this film has incredible funny moments. Moments that will cause the viewers to laugh out loud multiple times during each scene, either because of a clever joke or because the ridiculousness of the situation. I'm not sure if it's my dyslexia or if he just typed some of this wrong. But the purpose of my review is to dive into the actual subject matter of the film. Oh, God. In the modern-day United States, the conversations revolving around systemic racism and the leftover impacts of slavery and the Jim Crow era. I don't even know who that is. I would assume that is one of the members of the band Counting Crows, but I don't see what 90s alt music has to do with any of this. It's a debate that is present in most of our everyday media. Matt Walsh sets out to explore this phenomenon, and through a Borat-style means, there's Borat, of setting up real people to give real responses, he manages to expose an ugly truth of what is happening in today's society. There is, in fact, a circle of individuals who are capitalizing and profiteering off of white guilt. That means that they're like charging you money, manipulating and overcorrecting certain Caucasian people who would want to not be mistaken as racist or biased. And these so-called educators are charging a ridiculous amount of money for their services, which ultimately amounts to turning white guilt into shame, all the while collecting a paycheck. I do remember this in the movie. They kept flashing these big dollar numbers on the screen, and I mean, I've seen people pay that much for a lap dance at the highballers. Matt Walsh correctly showcases that this does nothing for the greater good, and in fact only creates further racial division because it's training guilty white people to be even more bluntly aware of racial differences than they already were. I guess making them more racist, instead of teaching them to see people of color as true equals to themselves. Okay. Mr. Walsh also travels to one single rural area of the country and interviews both white and black residents to present a case that America is not actually racist anymore. We simply are being taught that we still are. I'm coming for that fucking $50. This is already my longest video. This is unacceptable. This is where my true issue with the film begins to arise. Matt Walsh, in reality, is not a comedian or actor like Sacha Baron Cohen. That's the Borat guy. Instead, he's a conservative spokesperson with a right-wing agenda. The film is directly funded by right-wing media organization The Daily Wire, as well as other famous conservative figures like Ben Shapiro. I know that name. I know who that guy is. Ben Shapiro. That's that little. He's that little complaining Republican guy that looks like a Muppet villain. Each of these wealthy media faces have a history of denouncing systemic racism and any sort of societal bias towards people of color. Their message is clear: America isn't racist anymore, but you are being brainwashed to think that it is. I don't know what that. I need a drink. All right, folks. Please, at any point, be sure to like, subscribe, watch my other videos. If you want to keep going with this, I'm going to make that $50. For anyone who doesn't understand what systemic racism and critical race theory are actually referring to, let me attempt to make it clear. Slavery in the United States ended in the 1850s. However, desegregation and the final removal of Jim Crow laws There's this Counting Crows guy again. Apparently he was in government. I don't understand. Only happened as recently as 1965. We're currently in the year 2024. That might seem like a long time until you do the hard math. Only 59 years have passed. I can't. I'm still working on the GED. So logically, there are people who are currently in their 70s who remember growing up as a kid in a segregated society. And there are people who are still alive in their 80s and 90s who were young adults and fully ingrained in a segregated America. Many of these people still have voting rights, and many of these people have held influence over our government and legal system for decades. Huh. Is that shit for real? David Duke, the former Grand Master of the Ku Klux Klan, is still alive and was giving public addresses that made national news as recently as 2017 during the Charlottesville, Virginia riots. I remember something about that. Even if we are to remain completely objective with these undisputed facts, it still paints a picture of reasonable doubt. The idea that we have somehow fully escaped the shadow of white supremacy that dominated this country only 59 years ago seems unlikely. This is why modern cases of police brutality, oh, here we go, to people of color like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor have sparked so much protest in recent years. Technology and culture have rapidly advanced in the last several decades, but we have been given every right to ask the question of whether or not some old habits have died out. And if you ask most people of color in this country about their own personal experiences with racially charged aggression, the answer is a resounding no. Unc, I'm coming for that fucking $50. So, the politically charged comedy Am I Racist presents a true dilemma. It's a subject matter that absolutely needs to be known. There are people making money off of chastising white people who feel white guilt, which solves nothing and helps no one. I would objectively agree. But the people who made this movie have an agenda that tries to state that because one movement against racism is fake, then it all must be fake. So ultimately, the majority of people who need to see this film to know what's going on within these anti-racist movements will never go see it because simply of who made it. And the majority of the people who do go see this film will feel vindicated that America beat racism long ago, and those people will have a nice big laugh. Unc, you owe me $50, and I'll see you at the next barbecue. Folks, I don't know what to make of any of that shit, okay? I'm not like a biology major or whatever, but that's a lot to take in. So I'm going to take something in right now. I thought we beat racism quite a while back, especially when we desegregated football, just like in Remember the Titans. I thought that's why they put Martin Luther King's name all over the fucking street signs. I thought we had this shit in the bag, man. I mean, I remember being a kid in the 90s getting jiggy with it with Will Smith. Like, what the fuck is this about? Or David Duke? Counting Crows? I don't know what to make of it. I don't have a head for this kind of stuff. All I know is if you have hate in your heart for somebody because they have a different color skin or speak a different language than you, get fucked. This is America, baby. Okay? This is the land of the free and the home of the fuck yeah. But most of you, I assume, are good people. And I love you.